What's up, everyone? Today we're going to try to win as Mike Pence in the 2020 mod. 2020 has been regarded as one of the most chaotic years in world history. Even before COVID, Trump has been impeached and removed from office due to obstruction of Congress and abuse of power after he solicited the Ukrainian government to investigate former Vice President Biden in order to help his re-election campaign. After Trump was removed, Pence was elevated to the presidency. Now we'd have to face a global pandemic and social unrest. And will he be able to become president, or will the Democrats win? The only one who can pick is Mike Pence. So yeah, let's do this. Winner take all, obviously, on normal edition on this series. Okay. We can the first person to be removed from office. So what should we do? We can either A, do this, or this option. This option will weaken our campaign, one with Pence, so we're gonna do this. Because we want our campaign to be less weak. Right? Or I mean Pence. Our core supporters believe everything you say, calling your impeachment a victory. Democrats is a huge understatement. Mike Lindell, the CEO of MyPel and a fervent supporter of yours, runs a third-party campaign. It's March of 2020. The CDC has declared the outbreak of a coronavirus that began at a seafood market in Wuhan, China, has become a pandemic. So what do we do? I understand people want their personal space. Let's say listen to the experts. We can do basic things. Let's do this one. That's exactly what the country was hoping for you. So yeah, these polls are not looking good, but these polls are heavily favored towards Biden, so we're gonna be good. Alright. Your predecessor Trump has been impeached. There has been massive division in the Republican Party due to this, and the national mood is in favor of Biden. Are you planning on discussing this? I never will. I will destroy him, or I will mention it to a degree. We'll go with that one. Standard strategy. Okay. George Floyd has been brutally murdered by Derek Chauvin, a police officer in Minneapolis, Minnesota. As a result, the BLM movement is currently raging through the streets, protesting and rioting. How do you address this issue? Hopefully, this will give us some support. People have to look into his background and showing people trying to agree with you, but liberals are opposing this. Alright. Go for it. Alright. You've now been to the Republican Party. What will you emphasize in your acceptance speech at the RNC? There are two issues, COVID and social unrest. I'm not Trump. Attacked Biden. Or we need Trump to come together. For this. Time speech America wants to hear from someone who took over the presidency after an impeachment and is running for a full term in office. During your initial acceptance speech, you announced that your running mate will be decided after the U.S. Senate votes to confirm the next vice president. After you're elevated to the presidency, the leading choices are U.S. Ambassador to the UN, Nikki Haley, and Senator Tom Cotton of Arkansas. Alright, so, moderate anti-Trump is Haley. More conservative is, I'm pretty sure it's Cotton. Loyal, I think, is John Fern, and I forgot what experience is. I think it might be. Is it Rubio? It might be. I don't know. I forgot. I forgot what this was. I know the two. I know these two of these. We'll go for this one though. Also nominated Nikki Haley. Alright. This will give us some support in these swing states. Alright, we're gonna carry these two because of how close these polls are. I think we're gonna carry Arizona. We don't gotta worry about these ones. Alright. Congress has nominated Nikki Haley to serve as VP, and therefore you chose her as your running mate. Okay. 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 Nikki is a great, hardworking woman. She is a person who I'm happy to have on my ticket. She's anti-Trump, moderate, a woman, and someone who can move this country forward. Okay. Nikki's going to make history in this country as not only the first female VP, but also the first Indian American vice president. She has served in South Carolina. Alright. Although Trump illegally tried to investigate former Vice President Biden, there's a lot that can be used to attack the former vice president. His liabilities include his age, gas, and his son Hunter's controversies in his record under Obama. We'll go for this. Probably the best attack you can use. Right, we're gonna win these 3 states. I have a feeling we're gonna win these 5. We gotta worry about these ones. As the pandemic ravages across America, there's been a lot of division over whether or not to impose restrictions on the American people. MAGA Republicans believe that the advice by experts, including Fauci, are violating their personal space. So for this is what most were hoping from you. You also scored leadership points in November, unlike Trump. Former Vice President Biden's son, Hunter Biden, is under a lot of controversy. His tax suspicious files, I thought that could be questionable and could lead to FBI investigations or even indictment. Do you plan to bring up any of these stories during the campaign? That's too quiet. Probably for the best. Okay. Now, Florida is. We're going to win Florida. At least I hope so. There's been an increase in Asian American hate crimes in 2020, which could be attributed to the rise of COVID in the United States and Trump's aggressive policies towards China. After all, it originated in Wuhan, and that country has been quite competitive for us over the last few decades. Good for that. It's a no-brainer. COVID-19 has devastated working families after businesses have closed and employees have been laid off. So what do we do? This might be traditional Republican policy, but no one can deny these are unusual and exceptional. Alright, Nevada, we're probably going to win. We're doing good in the rest of these states. Our main threat is the Rust Belt. Trump has been well known for his large rallies with large crowds. Due to obvious reasons, this campaign is expected to be different. Biden is trying drive-in rallies as an effort to campaign with supporters while being safe at the same time. Mike Lindell is following Trump's word and holding large rallies with large crowds. Are you still planning to hold large crowds at your rallies? Alright, I don't care about COVID. That is, if I can guess, a lot of, it's not going to go well for us, I have a feeling. This one might be bad because it'll make it look like we don't care about the American people. So we're gonna do this one because it's the most differentiating one, and also because I've done this before, and this is the one that always works. Great strategy. It's September of 2020. After a 27-year-long career in the Supreme Court fighting for women's rights and other issues, Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg has passed away at the age of 87, complication caused by pancreatic cancer. What do you have to say about her death, and do you plan to express your fervent wish that her successor won't be chosen until after the election? When we respect her wishes, this is a sad day. Okay, this one, we're not doing this one. That is, so for this one. Republicans are very disappointed, but independents and Democrats appreciate this. Alright, Pennsylvania. After the death of Ruth Bader Ginsburg and the third vacancy at the Supreme Court in 4 years, many Democrats are calling for an expansion to counteract Trump's controversial appointments of Neil Gorsuch and Brett Kavanaugh. We'll be adding your voice for this. Widely popular position. Let's do this. We want to debate. Great. Oh, alright, that's unfortunate. So people have agreed that your presidency would likely be like Trump's because you were his vice president and fervently supported him. Good for this. Trump feels betrayed and is angry and is a hardcore base, but I should have went with that one. Some in the Republican Party are quite concerned that Nikki Haley is too moderate. Still doing good. The ties are probably going to be in our favor. Yeah, Lindell is 19% Oklahoma. Major controversy in Trump's campaigns are about whether or not he would accept the results of the election. In 2016, he drew a lot of controversy, saying he will accept the results. Mike Lindell comments about accepting the election have been similarly controversial. Will you accept them? No matter what, I will accept. In response to your strong condemnation of Trump's actions in office, Mike Lindell has started a third-party pro-Trump campaign. He's even been endorsed by Trump. All right. Probably best you can do. All right, probably gonna win these swing states. I think that's gonna give us the election, but gotta keep trying to get the Rust Belt. In order to win 2016, Trump tapped into the fears of many suburbanites and Midwest factory workers by pledging to cut mass immigration. In doing so, he was going to build a wall across the U.S.-Mexico border and have Mexico pay for it. His immigration policies have been quite controversial, especially when children were separated from their parents. Help in this does help in the Southwest. Many accused him of being too agonistic towards China during his administration. There have been trade wars, inflammatory comments towards China and its people, increased hate crimes, and more over the last 4 years. Are you still going to stand up against China? Statement appeals to blue-collar workers. This one, the aftermath of the many school shootings and ultimate and untimely killings of innocent civilians caused by gun violence has been increased support for an assault weapons ban. However, the GOP is still in strong support of the Second Amendment, which gives the people the right to bear arms. Alright. The Democrats will repeal the Second Amendment. I support gun regulations where they make sense. This is probably the best answer here. This is disheartening to NRA members. This will help you with independence. In Kenosha, Wisconsin, there have been mass riots caused by the untimely death of Jacob Black Lake by a police officer. During these riots, 17-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse shot 3 people. What do you have to say about this? We'll stop campaigning to visit it, and then Biden will do so too. Alright. Keep going for Pennsylvania. Biden has been meeting up with Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, and other such politicians in an attempt to unite the Democratic Party. Many of these politicians are attacked as socialists by the GOP, especially by MAGA supporters. Not too crazy on this, but we'll bring it up. Right. Marijuana is not a major issue in these rates, but it is an issue that has become more and more prevalent in recent years. Many are hoping for marijuana, at least recreational marijuana, to be legalized around the country. Are you planning to legalize it? Disney policy from considered business a major issue. Perhaps it'll gain us some minus support. After the BLM protests and the deaths of George Floyd, Jacob Blake, and Breonna Taylor, racial inequality has become a big issue in America. Democrats have been pushing for stronger measures against racial discrimination and protecting civil rights. How will you address it? Racism is bad. We should stop it immediately. To address it popularly. Country wants to hear. Okay. Major controversy of yours is back in Indiana was when you signed the Religious Freedom Restoration Act in 2015. Critics said this made it okay for businesses to discriminate against LGBTQ people in Indiana. However, the United country has become more accepting with LGBTQ people by the minute. What is your stance? Alright. Okay, this one will, yes, it's not gonna go well if we do that one. This one also will do bad. This one will be bad too. So the only good option is this one. This day and age, it would have been political suicide to come out, as the mood of the country has dramatically changed its issue. Good call. Alright. We're doing good. Electoral is... Okay, we're gonna probably barely win. You know, they say he's gonna win by 20. The topic of abortion, like in every election, is pressing. Even more pressing nowadays due to the Supreme Court being a bigger issue this year. Major goal for Republicans for the last few years was to appoint Supreme Court justices to intend to overturn Roe v. Wade. Good for this. Good response. During the time that America is in right now, there's been a lot of discussion about voting rights in this election and ways people can vote. Many were concerned that you would not support mail-in voting due to MAGA-based claims that mail-in voting leads to election fraud. Mike Lindell and Donald Trump are currently making such comments. Would you support mail-in voting? Alright, America should be able to vote whoever they want. Because we're leaving. Okay. We're gonna win Pennsylvania. Probably at least. It has been 19 years since Al-Qaeda flew planes into the World Trade Center and the Pentagon, and the war in Afghanistan began. Since then, there's been a lot of sentiment towards pulling troops out of Afghanistan, especially right now after a truce occurred. Are you planning to pull them out? No timetable and doing show. Alright. It's October 14th of 2020. The New York Post has broken a story about a laptop Biden lost. Hunter Biden lost. There has been a lot of investigation and controversy surrounding the story as well. However, many question the validity of this story because the New York Post is known to have a strong conservative bias. Do you have any comment? You won't comment? Alright. Biden takes a hit in the polls. Alright, I don't know we're gonna. Fellow Americans, we're all in this together. We need to be cautious, but doesn't dismiss the importance of casting your vote in a historic election. If you can, vote by mail. If not, mask up and social distance. I'm much different than Trump. 2 states for Midwest, or alright, let's go for the Midwest. Let's see. Sit back and relax. See if we get it. Alright, we got Kentucky. We got Indiana. This makes sense. It is Pence's home state. Alright, we're not gonna do as good as Trump, but okay, we get Vermont, and we don't get Vermont. We get Oklahoma. Alright, we're doing it in the southeast. Oof, alright. Okay, we got Georgia, okay. Carried Georgia by 4, it's not bad. Alright, good, we got Florida. We might, okay, good, we get North Carolina, okay. Alright, we might lose this election. Alright, we got Texas. Hey, I think we're out of the danger zone for now. If we win Pennsylvania, then I think we're good. Yep, you have won this year's election. That was closer than I wanted to, but if you got Michigan, I'm probably gonna have 289 to 295. So get Alaska. We just barely get Nevada. Well then, Mr. President, it's quite the upset. You were just as doomed as Harry Truman and your precedent just 4 years ago, but you prevailed, being applauded for your effort in leading a country through some rather difficult times. An unprecedented global pandemic has ravaged the country and the world. Incumbents across the country have survived due to successful leadership. You were the least likely to survive, yet you did. America wants to get out of this pandemic, and there is no reason to change leadership without orange criminal out of office, right? The trick up to get this country back on track over the next 4 years may go well. You could get reelected 2024. Alright, we didn't get the popular vote, but I'm not shocked. This is the election map. We unfortunately didn't get Michigan, but we got Nevada at least. As for the closest state, I think like probably is Nevada, right? It has to be. Yep, 12,000 votes wouldn't have mattered anyway. So the people who made this mod, they think the results would have been this: 351 to 187 in Biden's favor. Now let's go to the further reading section. Just this was a map they thought that would happen. This is the map they expected. So Pence will not get Florida, which I personally think he probably would. He loses every swing state. I personally think he would have got Florida once again. He probably would have. But aside from that, I think I agree with most of this map. The reason Biden's wins by more did in 2020 is because the national environment will be less favorable to Republicans. The first ever successful Senate impeachment will turn the narrative strongly in the Democrats' favor, on top of Mike Lindell's third-party MAGA candidacy. Not to mention, Pence will do as well with working class voters, causing Maine, 2nd District, Iowa, and Ohio to be more Democratic leaning. The 11th mod this person made. The person who made this mod was this person right here. That being said, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Comment, like, subscribe. Hope to see you all later. Goodbye, guys.